Good evening. I would like to call to order the April 25th, 2024 regular meeting of the Naperville Park District Board of Commissioners. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Monica, can we get the roll call, please?
President Gibson?
Here.
Vice President Ruffing?
Here.
Commissioner Ansier, absent. Commissioner Jacks?
Here.
Commissioner Janner, absent. Commissioner Risvold?
Here.
Commissioner Thompson?
Here.
President Gibson, I've been informed that Commissioner Janner has requested to participate remotely due to business purposes.
Move to allow remote meeting participation of Commissioner Janner per Section 7 of the Open Meetings Act.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes. All right. Commissioner Janner, can you hear us?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Great. Monica, do we have any matters in the public?
We do not.
Do you have any public comment? Good? No? All right. Monica, can you please read the consent agenda?
Item 3.1, approve April 11th, 2024 regular meeting minutes. Item 3.2, authorize Executive Director Wilson to execute an agreement with iSolved for Human Capital Management, HCM software. That is it.
I feel like you deserve that short one after the last couple meetings. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda? No?
Move to accept consent agenda items 3.1 through 3.2.
Second. Roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes.
Moved to approve consent agenda items 3.1 through 3.2.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
Oh, thanks. No unfinished business, so we will move on to new business. Knock Park permeable paver parking lot installation.
Contract for this project is going to be presented to the Park Board for approval today. It needs to be red.
Oh, that's, yeah. red means go. Thank you. So Naperville Park District and Community Unit School District 203 staff discussed the layout and need for additional off-street vehicular parking at Knock Park to support programming and activities offered by both organizations on site. Based on the need for additional parking, staff identified the approach of partnering in the development and shared use of a parking lot expansion at Knock Park. On December 14th, 2023, Ordinance 1044 was approved, authorizing the First Amendment to the Intergovernmental Agreement between the Naperville Community Unit School District 203 and Naperville Park District for development and shared use property improvements at Knock Park, including installation of a permeable paver parking lot. The scope of work for this project includes removals, installation of the permeable paver parking lot, electrical work and lighting, relocation of batting cages and site work to complete the project. Pending contract approval, construction activities are expected to begin in spring, immediately following the high school softball season. The intent is to reach substantial completion in late summer, early fall of this year. Any questions on that?
County for permeable pavers at the Ron Ori Community Garden Plots.
In late 2023, the Naperville Park District submitted a water quality improvement program grant application to DuPage County seeking funding to assist with the planned permeable paver parking lot installation project at the Ron Ori Community Garden Plots. Recently, Park District staff received notice that the DuPage County Stormwater Management Planning Committee approved $60,000 of grant funding for the project. DuPage County has adopted the DuPage County Stormwater Management Plan, which recognizes the reduction of stormwater runoff and improving water quality as an integral part of proper management of storm and flood waters. The Naperville Park District has developed a plan for the construction of permeable paver parking lot at the Ron Ori Community Garden Plots, and the improvements will enhance water quality in the area. Park District staff and legal counsel reviewed the intergovernmental agreement prepared by DuPage County officials included in the April 12, 2024 weekly packet. The agreement is slated to be presented to the Park Board for approval at the May 9th Park Board meeting, and then presented to the DuPage County Board for approval in June. The permeable paver parking lot installation project is scheduled to be released for bid proposals this summer, with the intent to begin work after Labor Day toward the end of the gardening season, with the goal to reach substantial completion in early 2025. The construction activities will be coordinated to work around gardening on site as best as possible. Any questions on that one?
No. Great. Thank you. Next up, Nike Sports Complex Site Master Plan and OSLED Grant Preparation.
As described at the April 11th Parks and Recreation Committee meeting, Naperville Park District staff recently discussed the idea of conducting a site master plan and preparing an open space lands acquisition and development known as OSLAD grant for improvements at Nike Sports Complex. Staff also met with Michelle Kelly with Upland Design to discuss a potential 2024 OSLAD grant submission. The Park District previously worked with Michelle when she led the public input process and design development for Wolf's Crossing Community Park, as well as development of a site master plan for the community garden plots. Some possible improvements that staff is considering for grant submission include expanding asphalt multi-loop trail in Nike Sports Complex. As we know, trails are a top outdoor recreational amenity from our community surveys. A shade pavilion overlooking the cricket area. We heard from many players who utilize this area that have requested shade and seating near the pitch. The addition of a challenge course. This is very similar to the popular amenity that we currently offer at Wolf's Crossing Community Park. Addition of water play features with possible renovation of the existing playground. Conversion of 2 baseball field infields to synthetic turf. Recently, Executive Director Wilson reported that Naperville Little League Baseball has expressed an interest in donating $200,000, $100,000 each for the conversion of these ball fields from the infields of natural turf to synthetic turf. Conversion of the softball field infield to synthetic turf as well. Renovation of the ball field hub concrete plaza area to make it more ADA accessible, and renovation of the existing tennis and pickleball courts. And essentially here we're just looking at color coding and striping just to kind of spruce them up a little bit. As next steps, the intent is to work with Upland Design to assist with gathering community input and conducting open house meetings, formulating a site master plan, and submitting an OSLAD grant proposal, planned to be submitted in September for improvements at Nike Sports Complex.
Any questions on this?
I do have a question about the artificial turf fields for baseball. Is it the same kind of field that's on the soccer field, or is it a different type of turf?
It's very similar. It's from the same manufacturer. They do make a little bit of different turf, more geared toward baseball use or softball use. But we worked with the Field Turf was the manufacturer in ensuring that it met the needs of our patrons, and we work closely in the selection process with Naperville Little League. So right now, for instance, at the DuPage River Sports Complex, we're going to have the grand opening regarding Field 5. So we work with them on selecting the infield as well as our staff and other patrons.
Is it going to have dirt infields, or is it just like a painted infield?
It's synthetic turf, and it's just all painted infield. And then there's a transition between the infield and outfield. So at the edge or outside of the infield, there's a transition that goes to natural turf.
So no dirt around the bases?
No dirt around the bases. Yeah.
And they requested that. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually very popular.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seems like a different game to me to have no dirt around the. If they requested that, okay. But I'd be concerned about the speed of the ball, ground balls, and if they requested that, okay, I would be concerned about that, though, about the speed of the ball coming off the turf and ground balls and things like that, from my experience of field turf. But if they're okay with that, okay. I'm surprised by that, especially there's no dirt around the bases. So they don't do sliding anymore. They don't teach any.
Yeah, so this has actually been a trend in our area that we're seeing at the softball and baseball level through the high schools and colleges, and then also at other park districts. For instance, Joliet Park District has a very similar layout. So from what we're hearing and seeing, and the advantages of this type of synthetic turf infield is that you can get on the fields much quicker and it's much lower maintenance. So we're looking to improve the playability and also provide more opportunities for scheduling more games throughout the season.
I mean, I would still prefer to see dirt infield, especially dirt around the bases, around second and third base. But that'd be
Hey, Chris, the way Chris, the way it's proposed is definitely the way to go. Very much more common if you were to put dirt on different areas of the ball field. Then kids have to change their shoes periodically throughout the games. So what's being proposed is definitely the industry standard and national standard.
Okay.
If it makes you feel better, kids don't know how to slide now anyway. I watched a kid watch a pass ball go by and then tried to steal the next pitch and got thrown out. So they don't know how to slide anyway.
All right. Any other questions on this? You mentioned the OSLID grant, the grant for the permeable pavers, the cost sharing for the new lot. So thank you to all the work staff puts into this to, alleviate the burden on our taxpayers, and also the Naperville Little League agreement. I think they're great examples of the way we work with our community partners and other government agencies. So thanks for all the work you put into that.
Thank you.
All right. So that's that. I guess is Director Carlson for Naperbrook Golf Course irrigation replacement.
Good evening. Staff will be looking to bring to a future meeting for the board's consideration a contract for the replacement of the 34-year-old irrigation system at Naperbrook Golf Course. The project is part of the Golf Master Improvement Plan and also one of the district's key capital improvements planned for 2024. The Golf Master Improvement Plan identified several changes and updates needed at both facilities and included as a high priority the replacement of the irrigation system at Naperbrook due to the exceeding its useful and expected lifespan. As mentioned in the improvement plan, a properly operating irrigation system is a necessity to keep the course functioning and the turf maintained in a condition that is expected by patrons. The current irrigation system is inefficient and it's prone to failures such as broken irrigation heads, leaking pipes and fittings and other issues. Just this past week, during a period of limited use, the staff at Naperbrook has experienced one ruptured pipe fitting, a broken irrigation head, and a head stuck on for 6 hours overnight, which flooded a bunker. All these issues, not a big deal right now, but if this happened during a high-stress period, we could be dealing with turf issues and other problems. This project will replace the original irrigation system hardware, including all sprinklers, pipe, and control software. Work would be scheduled to begin in early August with a planned completion by mid-November. During the project, Naperbrook will not be closed, but individual holes will need to be partially rerouted to allow the construction to progress. Bids for the project were released last month with 12 prospective bidders picking up plans, and 2 bids were opened on April 16th. The lowest base bid was presented by Commercial Irrigation and Turf at a total of $2,810,955. The budget for this project was $2,650,000, which pushed us over by about $161,000. We discussed the bid results with our architect and low bid contractor, and several factors appeared in this project which kind of forced it to be over budget. One thing that was brought up was the cost for HDPE pipe needed for the irrigation system is very volatile, and it limits contractors' ability to discount out of concern that will be encounter price increases later when they are purchasing. Also, demand for the golf course work is very high right now. There are a large number of golf course projects of similar size and scope in this area, and only 3, possibly 4 contractors available that have the ability and expertise to complete this project. Staff worked with the irrigation system architect and commercial irrigation, determined opportunities for value engineering that would reduce the cost but not significantly impact the overall coverage or quality of the system. It was suggested staff could reduce pipe sizing throughout the project and reduce some of the allowances built into the bid specs to help bring costs closer to the budget. With these changes, staff was able to work with the architect and with the contractor and able to reduce the base bid by about $161,351. Staff is reviewing these changes, but at initial inspection, they do not significantly impact the scope of the project. For commercial irrigation and turf, we reviewed their low bidder references. They are a well-known and experienced irrigation supplier and installer, and worked with dozens of golf courses with projects similar to the scope of Naperbrook, including nearby courses such as Bolingbrook Golf Club and Prairie Landing in West Chicago. Overall, with this project, staff is recommending a 3% contingency be added to the final project total for any project enhancements or unforeseen conditions that may be encountered with this project. The main unforeseen condition is obviously what's underground. We can't see that. All pipe and irrigation heads will be trenched, bored, or pulled into the ground, so if excessive rocks or other debris is encountered, the material will need to be mitigated. The Naperville site has not experienced significant rock issues with other projects, but this project will cover nearly every square foot of the property. But unit pricing is included in the bid for these costs, and if encountered, we will adjust. The 3% contingency added, the total amount will be $2,730,163. Any additional costs over the $2,650,000 budget will be covered by funding in the Golf 2024 capital budget. And if approved, this installation will begin August 1st and expected to be reaching substantial completion by November 15th, 2024. Happy to answer any questions.
Did you say the existing system's was installed in 1989?
1991, the golf course is built, so this is the existing, or was built with the existing golf course in 1990.
So we're assuming we're just going to amortize the numbers out over the next 30, basically? Okay, cool.
Any questions? Any others? Commissioner Janner, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Golf production mower.
Staff will be recommending the purchase of a Toro 4700D production mower for use at Naperville Golf Course. This mower is included in our 2024 golf capital equipment replacement plan and would be purchased using the terms of the Sourcewell Cooperative Contract, of which the district is a member and has used in the past to purchase equipment with publicly solicited and negotiated prices. Using the Sourcewell pricing, the Toro 4700D mower purchase price would be $109,551. The proposed Toro 4700D is replacing a 2014 Jacobson HR 722 mower at Naperbrook that has been unreliable and has become difficult and expensive to maintain due to the manufacturer discontinuing the model and limiting the options for replacement parts. Both the Toro 4700D and the mower it is replacing have 7 individual articulating decks, which allow the mower to provide a high-quality cut on the variety of hills and undulating ground that would experience at Naperbrook. Once approved, delivery of this mower is expected in early of this summer.
Questions? No? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we'll move on to department updates. We'll start with admin.
Good evening. Please mark your calendars for the Naperville Memorial Day Parade. That will be held on May 27th. Further details to come for those that are interested in participating. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Next up is finance.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds right.
Director Stanish and her team continue to work on the 3-year financial plan.
Thank you, Director Seppi. All right.
Is that for 2025? That's for 2025.
Golf.
I'll have a slightly longer update than that. Work has commenced on the final phase of the Marie Todd practice facility at Naperbrook. The contractor this week began moving in fill to allow the current 18th hole to be shifted to the new green, which was completed last year. Weather permitting, the contractor is hoping to complete work by June, which will allow for a grand opening of the facility sometime this summer. Courses are off to a positive start for 2024. The lack of winter allowed Naperbrook to open early in February, followed by Springbrook in early March. The early opening and several warmer than normal days has provided better than expected round totals at both golf courses. Combined, the courses have seen over 11,000 rounds year to date so far, exceeding expectations and providing higher than expected budget revenues to start the seasons. Our programs are off to an excellent start. April is our first month with group lessons, and adult beginners, juniors, and women clinics are all scheduled starting this month. April programs have been near capacity and are currently at about a 91% utilization, which is very exceptional for this time of year. While we're on the subject of junior programs, we hosted our annual Junior Golf Palooza this last Saturday at Naperbrook. The Junior Golf Palooza provides a low-cost opportunity for kids to be introduced to golf. For $5, juniors aged 5 to 14 were provided with 45 minutes of golf instruction from our professional staff, a chance to try out some golf equipment, and have fun learning about golf in our programs. This past Saturday wasn't the warmest of days, but we still had over 60 young golfers out at Naperville, and everybody seemed to enjoy the event, especially the hot dog lunch after each session. We had our first tournament of the season, which was held at Naperville on Saturday, April 13th. The partner best ball had 168 participants, which is slightly over our plan limit, but staff was able to work in the remaining waitlisted players. This year, the Brooks Tournament Series sponsor is Woody Buick GMC, and they were providing our players an opportunity to win a new car with a hole-in-one on the 4th hole. Golfers were very excited about the opportunity, and while nobody did win the car, we had a couple that got pretty close. So we did hear some hooting and hollering out there. Overall, lots of good competition and a great event. And finally, looking forward to the month of May, we'll be celebrating the 50th anniversary of the opening of Springbrook Golf Course. Sam and her team have updated the Springbrook logo, which we'll have on all our flags starting next month. They look great. And staff is providing several promotion events to celebrate this occasion, and we'll be working with our marketing team to roll out all this early next month.
Awesome. Any questions?
I just have one. What are we doing with the old flags?
We're saving them until the fall.
Okay. I just didn't know if we were selling them or doing anything with them at all.
No, we'll have the 50th anniversary flags out for the summer months, and then we'll go back to our original flags in the fall. Thank you.
Thanks. Next up is Human Resources.
So my entire team continues to be in the throes of onboarding as we inch towards the summer. The highest volume positions that we recruit for that are summer positions, including lifeguards, the grill, and then also our day camp council positions have all been pulled from the website because we're in a very good place to have those positions filled, and training starts with the lifeguards next week. Hope I didn't steal any of your things. Sorry. We should, whatever. But we also are still actively recruiting for 4 full-time positions. We have a customer service specialist position open, trade specialist, assistant golf superintendent at Springbrook, and a park specialist position as well. So when you're out and about in the community, if anybody is asking, yes, we do have full-time opportunities as well. And just yesterday, Lisette from my team, and she really oversees the recruiting, participated in an event at Plainfield Central High School along the lines of some of the events that Kids Matter does when they go into the high schools. This was a lot of interviewing type of techniques. We've had really good success lately with the Plainfield School District. There is actually, we started with Plainfield North because the South Point subdivision in Naperville is in Plainfield School District 202. So we started, kind of used that in and have had a lot of success in that regard, not only recruiting staff, but also spreading the word about park districts as employers. So, awesome, thank you.
I do have a quick
Oh,
comment.
sorry.
I feel like this is the first summer you've come and said staffing is great, and I know, sorry, but
Yeah.
I know so much work has gone.
Come on, don't, yeah.
Apologies. But I know that's due to a lot of work,
Oh,
you know,
yes,
between you and
yes.
Sam's team working together,
Yes.
And a lot of creative solutions. So that's
Yeah.
wonderful. We definitely noticed that. So thank you for all
Yeah.
the hard work. And
Yeah,
I'm
no,
really
and the job
sorry
fairs have been
for-
huge. You know, we do the one with Kids Matter, the community job fair in January, and then our 2 in March were hugely successful as well.
That's great
We
news.
held those over the time frame when districts 203 and 204 were on spring break, and then also when our state universities in Illinois were on spring break. So I think that really contributed to being able to do this a little bit earlier.
Awesome. And I mean, the creative solutions, the careers grow here, and all the, you know, the decals, it's really great to hear
Right.
that we're in good shape. Apologies.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Next up is IT.
Good evening. Just a couple of updates from IT. Last week, I attended the GMIS International Illinois Chapter's annual conference down in Bloomington. This is a great opportunity just for networking with other IT leaders throughout the state. The Illinois chapter is actually the largest within GMIS International, with 125 different government agencies represented, along with 77 corporate members. Got to sit in on various training and sessions about AI tools from Microsoft, the motivation of cyber criminals in local government, the ROI of next-gen email security, various sessions from different federal and state agencies as well that were providing resources for local government. So it was really beneficial. Definitely came back with a laundry list of stuff to just add in more onto our already very full plates, but really great content. We're also working through a variety of technology renewals and updates. We have a lot of technology agreements that come due throughout the summer months. So we're looking at that, seeing where we need to adjust, if we have to negotiate on various things. So we're working through those. And then our summer readiness, just getting all the different summer systems ready. For staff, we've got accounts set up for all those staff that we're not struggling to get because we've got it all taken care of early. So we're getting everyone ready to go. So that's where our focus is.
And we should be using the fishing button.
We should absolutely be using the fishing button.
I've got some emails about that.
So absolutely. And I love that people read my emails. So thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Marketing and communications.
Good evening. Got a few updates for you tonight. As detailed in the board packet memo dated April 5th, our sponsorship program is doing very well through Q1. We've brought in a total of actually just over $196,000, which is a 1.4% increase over Q1 2023 totals. So as I always say, we're moving in the right direction and more to come as the year goes on. As you know, with the fee assistance program, that's a great way that the district funds recreation programs for people in need. And we're always looking for ways to try to generate funds to help with that. And we've tried in the past, we've tried some restaurant fundraisers with kind of limited success, but starting late last year through the Bulls game that was starting in November, December, we had another one in February, we've done a Chicago Steel hockey promotion and a couple of other very specific restaurant fundraisers, and we've brought in more than $1,200 in just a few months. So kind of feel like we've maybe figured out a formula. Definitely doing a Bulls fundraiser again at some point in time later this year probably. So we will continue to evaluate those types of opportunities. Again, this is just one way that we are able to accrue funds for that to help support a very worthwhile cause. And then lastly, as I've mentioned before, we've got quite a long series of ribbon cutting events coming up this year. We've got 2 scheduled for the time being. We have, as Eric mentioned, we've got the Saturday, May 11th ribbon cutting at DuPage River Sports Complex for the synthetic turf field. That's being done in partnership with Naperville Little League and also the Chicago White Sox, who's a partner of Naperville Little League. So we're going to cut the ribbon at 9 o'clock. There's going to be a couple of fun surprises with that, so we're looking forward to that. And then Tuesday, May 21st at 5 p.m., we're going to cut the ribbon at the playground at the new Heritage Place Park Playground. So that'll be 5 p.m. on May 21st, and we'll be off and running and plenty more events to come.
Fun. Awesome.
Any
Looking forward
questions?
to 'em. No.
Thank you.
Park Police.
All right, good evening. Since the first of the year, we've had three retirements, 3 police officer retirements, wherein I lost a total of 35 years' experience. But since the first of the year, we've replaced them with 3 new officers that total almost 32 years of experience, with all of them having varying degrees of previous experience. We are in the process of hiring 6 PSOs, Park Service officers, to merge with 4 returning Park Service officers for a total of 10 for the summer. The cool thing about the PSO program is that in the last year, we've had 2 of our PSOs hired as police officers with the city of Naperville, and 1 went on to the village of Plainfield. Our goal would be to bring him back to Naperville as well at some point, but we'll take what we can get. Otherwise, the things are upticking with special events. The Parks Police are now working pretty much 8 a.m. to 11 o'clock on weekdays and midnight on the weekends. All right, I get to do parks too.
Go for it.
Bear with me. Here we go. Tim wanted to share that work on the Prairie Nature Garden, which was an enhancement improvement the board approved as an addition to the Riverwalk earlier in February, has begun. Last week, City and Park District staff laid out boundaries for the paver brick lookout, as well as the prairie area on the east side of the volleyball basin at Centennial Park. On Monday, city staff excavated the lookout area and earlier today poured new concrete curbing. A contractor is expected to begin the laying of the paver bricks as soon as next week. A natural areas maintenance contractor made their initial herbicide application to the turf Monday, with a secondary application expected to take place about 10 days later. Once that has been completed, the contractor will work on prairie plant establishment. Based on the current progress, the project may potentially conclude earlier than the initial late summer prediction. Work on the garden plots is moving full steam ahead. The farmer visited last week to till the fields, and with rainy weather expected over the weekend, staff have already finished laying out the plot grid and placed stakes in the ground. Potholes in the gravel drive were filled, water spigots have been activated, and the entrance gates are to be opened Monday for dumpster and portalet placement. Staff started the process of filling Centennial Beach on Monday and just shut down the hydrants earlier today. Most of the landscaping work inside the fencing has been completed, and staff will transition to the exterior areas over the coming weeks. Our trade staff shared that the first water treatment application was made today, now that we're done with the filling process, and that they've also moved on to setup of the bathhouse and grill. New in 2024, our North Parks team contracted out the exterior maintenance of the Fort Hill Activity Center. The contractor will oversee activities such as mowing, litter picking, herbicide applications, mulching, and landscape bed maintenance. Last week marked their first week of service, with the contract running through the end of November. Staff identified this opportunity as a way to provide a higher level of service at one of the district's most important facilities, while allowing them to focus their efforts on a more localized region of high-profile areas, including the Riverwalk, Centennial Beach, and the RCC and administration buildings. Lastly, Director Quigley will be working with me on a less is more approach to departmental updates when he's absent in the future.
Well done.
I do have a question, but not for you. It's okay. I promise, Chief. It's for Brad if he can answer. The herbicide at the Prairie Garden. Is it okay to be walked on? I was there today.
Oh, yeah, we
I walked
encourage it.
across it.
Yeah, they would fence it off if it wasn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. Thank you. Planning and development.
So one brief update for the board this evening. This in regards to the Walnut Ridge Park Small Wooden Bridge removal. This was reported on at the April 11th Parks and Rec Committee meeting, and the need to remove the small wooden bridge at the Walnut Ridge Park due to its poor condition. This is located just to the north of Royce Road. Replacement of the bridge is not an option due to the need to remove numerous trees and install concrete abutments and footings in order to comply with code requirements. So as a very creative, reasonable alternative, the Parks Department found a very effective way to maneuver and maintain the trail connection for the patrons in the community to enjoy, which would allow us as staff to remove that wooden bridge, which is in dire need of removal because of just its deterioration. So just want to report that we're working on that project, and information working with Sam and her team as far as communications will be shared with residents in multiple ways. Just inform them of that new trail bypass at Walnut Ridge Park.
Sorry. Will that be something that would trigger letters to the residents in the area, or just signage outside of the?
Yeah, we talked about, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so we've got signage on site, social media, done a press release, and I think we're going to do letters?
Yeah, letters or postcards.
Letters or postcards.
Yeah.
Okay, to the ones in a certain radius around it. Awesome.
And before
Okay.
we do the removal.
Before even. Okay, that's wonderful. Thanks for the good communication on that.
Good evening. Every year in support of Earth Day, the Park District and the Naperville Police Department join together and bring to this community the Shred event. Last weekend, we held this popular event, and once again, it did not disappoint. 825 cars came through. We collected over 21,520 pounds of paper, which is 4,560 more pounds than last year. So it was a very successful event. And it went, I don't know if anybody got to go through it, but it ran very smooth, so it was great. The spring session is in full swing, with staff now focused on the final phase of preparation for the summer session. Summer registration will begin this Monday, April 29th at 8:30 a.m. And also as a reminder, fall soccer registration will take place the following week. I know we overlap weekends or seasons all the time. The following week with girls on Tuesday, May 7th at noon, and boys on Wednesday, May 8th at noon. Registration for several of the summer day camp programs were also part of the spring registration. So as we move into the summer registration, we anticipate that we will continue to watch the interest and expand programs as needed. Centennial Beach is full, and we are ready for lifeguard training, which begins on Monday, believe it or not. We will have over 30 new lifeguard applicants going through the certification program and close to 40 returning lifeguards. So we should hopefully get several that go through the program, and we have a good team of lifeguards this summer. Beach memberships are on sale now. So far, we have sold 1,869 memberships, which is a slight 3% increase over last year at the same time. Paddleboat quarry rental operation is set to open, weather permitting, on May 11th, weekends only through Labor Day or through Memorial Day, and this will include the Carillon tours as well. And last but not least, Schindelbeck touched on it a little bit for Tim Quigley. Our volunteer manager has been working alongside the parks divisions and preparing for many of the planned park projects this spring. The district has 10 scheduled park projects taking place this month, which include mulching, seed bombs, invasive removals, and plantings. We also have received 6 Eagle Scout project applications. So our volunteer manager will be working closely with the Parks Department to get all those taken care of. Any questions?
No, sounds great.
Okay,
Thank
thanks.
you. Oh, yeah. Thanks. Can I just get yours? Thanks. We do have executive session tonight, but the next regular meeting of the Park Board of Commissioners will be May 9th, 2024 at 7 p.m. at Fort Hill Activity Center.
Move to adjourn to executive session to discuss land acquisition per Section 2C5 and price for sale and interest of property per Section 2C6 of the Open Meetings Act.
Second. Roll call, please.
Vice President Ruffing?
Yes.
Commissioner Thompson?
Yes.
Commissioner Jacks?
Yes.
Commissioner Janner?
Yes.
Commissioner Risvold?
Yes.
President Gibson?
Yes. All right. Thank you. Rich, are you still there?
Yep.